public awareness is something which you may have, I don't know, hundreds of laws and regulations and whatever, but if you do not have a good public awareness strategy, it's very difficult to implement them, and it's very difficult to enforce them. So, and this well-targeted public awareness campaign, you may reach much better results than this couple of laws. Of course, you have to have legislation. That's true. But it's easier if people are doing it because they understand why it is so, and not because they think that the state just putting another burden. But that's something very difficult, and usually it's a long run. Constraint, gaps and needs, this is, I think, usually devoted to short description of what are the main constraints to have the national communication better. These are usually issue of technical and methodological issues, access to data, finance, of course, lack of experts and continuity of experts. As I said, we are preparing the 7th national communications, and I have to say that only 2 people from the whole team, me and my colleague, are those who already worked on previous, not all, on previous national communications. So again, it's a never-ending story. I wouldn't say we start from scratch because there are some traces of experience or let's say some methodological issues, but it's almost each national communication is starting with educating people, with explaining what we need, with stressing the main points, where to focus, on which to focus, and so on. So the institutional and human constraints, this is not only for developing countries. I think this is an issue for every country which do not have some special institute for national communication. I don't think any has. And of course, the conclusions and recommendations, not necessarily in the chapter of constraints and gaps. Again, this does not necessarily has to be 20 pages of recommendation, but or conclusions. The less the better, because then the message you want to provide is not somehow lost in a bulky text. If you the best way in my practice is to put them in some bullet points. From 3 to 10, whatever, maybe more, it depends, but usually 10 is maximum we go for. And I have also one question in your third national communication. You listed a lot of ministries and institutions you cooperate with when preparing the communication, but I didn't find their Ministry of Finance. Is this because you did not ask them to be involved, or they are not very eager to be involved, or you think they are not relevant? Because in the measures listed, there is quite a couple of measures where the Ministry of Finance is a responsible or implementing agency. So maybe it would be good to involve them, if only for them to see that this will cost money. And it is very hard to persuade Ministry of Finance that they will have to think about it and to allocate sources. So the sooner you start, better. Again, this is also a long run. I believe you know that, and so I would recommend to try to involve them to the preparing national communication from the very start. Thank you. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, and I'm sorry for taking so much time.
Thank you first of all for your recommendations because it's really useful and helpful for first biannual audit report, and all these difficulties and challenges are very well known for me because I was responsible for compiling the final document, and yeah, it was very challenging. As for your question regarding the Ministry of Finance, it can be answered by Ministry of Natural Resource Protection. Why, how it can be.
As a rule, steering committee, Его разрели климатически самотную супросию, поэтому записались. Head of the Climate Change Unit, Ministry of Environment and National Resources Protection. Steering committee was established and consisting of representatives of different ministries, and among them the representative of the Ministry of Finance. But in preparation of national communication, as a role of the Ministry of Finance will be more important, because in the Q1 we will consider mitigation measures, financial support, and financial support not only from climate change related part, but also what is from state budget is allocated for mitigation measures. And I think that I fully wrote that I will fully review that Ministry of Finance will be actively participate in this process. Thank you.
So open for discussion, questions.
My experts, first of all, thank you very much for your interesting presentation. So I'll not take too much time. Before starting our discussion, make sure the floor is open. I would like to ask again Mr. Vasilevi to say the brief how we work on the document and what are the phases we should go through, where are we now, and what is the awareness raising status within the ministry itself, because we are dealing with a lot of issues which have primary or secondary influence on climate change. So first of all, we have to understand that industry mainly is the main factor for the climate change, and we have to adapt and we have to mitigate our work properly. So I'll ask Lazar once again to.
Climate change is a priority for Turkey, especially after Paris Agreement. And before we have that commitment to reduce our emissions, but according to our INDC, we are committed to limit increase of our emissions. In any case, our emissions will increase, but we consider deviation from baseline. Baseline is business as usual without mitigation measures. And national communication is document where is aggregate on activities. Documents, but sometimes we are forced to also scientific work because we need some specification and qualifications. National communication, as you mentioned, consisting of different paragraphs. In the case of inventory, we will use new lattice methodology, 2006 methodology. And it is more or less difficult than previous methodology. And you mentioned Apple sector, agriculture, forestry, and use. It is especially for us also very many uncertainties in this area. Very likely we will need support from foreign international experts, and I consider we can cooperate with your team, military team. preparation of our post-national communication. And at the same time, we will start preparation of second BUA. Principal difference of the second BUA from national communication is that in national communication is adaptation component, very important adaptation component. And in BUA, more important is mitigation component and especially financial support provided by developed countries. We will start soon the preparation of our NDC. NDC, according to NDC, our commitment should be more ambitious. Then it is a request from UNSCC. And in the preparation of NDC, all the ministries and NGOs will be included in this process. Shortly about our activities.
Thank you very much. Maybe a few words on behalf of...
Would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. On behalf of GIZ. My name is Jonas Aparata. I'm from GIZ and I'm working for the national... I'm actually national advisor for climate change in GIZ, and also Georgi has mentioned GIZ in his presentation, so I would like to clarify a few things. What are we supporting in this process? Because I see this meeting as like more like a stakeholder basically discussion on what our roles in this process to be said like this. Well, basically I'm following also Georgi's recommendation, which I fully agree, and also see some of the parts where GIZ also contributing to this process. Obviously this needs to be clarified that we are not preparing national communication or BUR. GIZ was not actually an agency or a donor organization who has actively supported preparation of national communication. However, we're supporting this process, meaning we are basically also building capacities towards greenhouse gas inventory preparation in different sectors. For example, we have recently hosted a workshop which was oriented on